Hey everybody, another Three Geeks conversation. It's Justin and Phil Grieve here with me. How you doing, Phil?
Good, thanks. How are you doing?
Doing well, doing well. And I am so excited to talk to you. I'm a giant Lord of the Rings fan, so I'm so excited to chat. But like, what got you into the industry? What got you into acting in general? What pulled you in?
I had a speech impediment when I was a kid, so I was going to speech and therapy and got interested in the various pieces of literature that you did as part of that. Got into school plays when I was at school, did theatre studies at university, got into professional theatre while I was at university, and that's the way I went. It's the kind of thing I felt I was good at. Limited options.
Yeah. That's awesome. But so I've interviewed someone else from Lord of the Rings, and they mentioned they were also in Hercules, like you were, and that kind of pulled them into the Lord of the Rings kind of universe as well, just being kind of in the acting scene from that to Lord of the Rings. Was that a similar case for you, or am I reaching?
I got into Hercules right at the tail end. I think I might have been in the final episode. Yeah, but there was obviously an established industry for fantasy, in New Zealand. Swords and sandals, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. How did you become an orc? How did you get pulled into the Lord of the Rings universe?
Yeah, I mean, I moved to Wellington right at around the perfect timing for it, I suppose. People started coming on board a year or two after I got to Wellington, and of course everything was based out of there. So almost everybody in our industry was either auditioning or eventually performing in that. Be few and far between who didn't have some involvement with it. And it just happened to be a case of right place, right time, I guess.
Awesome. And you were primarily an orc. I see a goblin credit too. Was that a lot of time in like the costume chair or the latex and like just like all that? I have to assume so, but like
yes. Roughly about 3.5 hours in the chair each morning to apply the prosthetics, and about an hour and a half at the end of the day, and still a 10-hour shoot day between. So very long days.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
it's so crazy to me too, because I interviewed a gentleman before who made the prosthetics for the orc armies and stuff. So there's a non-zero chance he helped make the stuff that you wore. In like it's full circle for me. It's just kind of cool. Do you?
Was he based at Weta?
They brought him from America to do like they said, hey, we need more hands. Like a lot of the New Zealand folks did it, but like, hey, we need some more people. So they were just grabbing bodies from the story he told me. He was just like, hey, ship over here. We need some help. That was what I believe was Mark was his name. But it was awesome talking with him. But it's full circle. So 3 hours in the chair. Now, how did that correlate on screen? Like, did you have a sword? Did you like? How elaborate were like the sets and things they were in? Because my understanding is it got pretty detailed in terms of even like everybody got a sword kind of a thing. Like, how detailed was your character?
Well, there were certainly props depending on the character that you're playing. Some of my more famous characters in that realm didn't need a weapon, so I was pretty much big dude yelling orders a lot of the time, or else middle management, that kind of thing. But yeah, we certainly had we were given a chance to have a look at props if we needed them. The props department are incredible, of course. So making everything look, part of that world, incredible achievement, I think.
Oh, for sure. Now, you being in the area, were you able to just go home every day, like to your actual like physical house, or were you just because I know they filmed those back to back to back, I believe, right? So like you were just on that set for a long period of time. Yeah,
I was living in Wellington over that period, so yes, I could go home.
Go cool.
And wash off the rest of it. The things that didn't get washed off in the makeup room, a lot of it's quite residual, sticky bits and pieces on the face.
Yeah. what's do you have a memorable scene? Like what from I guess you were all three of the movies, so do you have a favorite from each or one that's really sticking out to you from when you were in it?
First movie was a little limited in terms of my involvement. The only
Sure.
movie that I did without prosthetics, actually, just like a split second before Peter Jackson's cameo in the first film.
Oh, neat.
Menacing-looking man walking towards him and Brie, which a pan passed, you know.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest amount of dialogue was in Two Towers with Saruman, talking about how we were going to logistically make an army appear, and then the third movie, probably the scene where Frodo and Sam are press ganged into the Orc army and there's an inspection. But all of my scenes are extended, so I wasn't in any of the theatrical releases.
Oh, was that a bummer when it first came out? Were you pretty pissed? Like you spent all that time and
I was still credited alongside some very famous people, so I was quite happy about that.
yeah.
In terms of the scenes, I could understand why they cut them in terms of running time. But yeah, once you've seen the extended version, they are great scenes. And
There's no going back. Once you've seen extended, there's no going back. I'm sorry, I didn't talk over you, but
yeah, a lot of great scenes in that category, so I'm not upset.
Yeah, the whole mouth of Sauron, like those scenes are crazy, and like just they cut them all out. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, great until the point. Well, there's a philosophical divide over that one because of the beheading, of course.
Oh, fair. Yeah, fair.
Don't believe that Aragorn would have done that, but yeah, up until that point, Bruce Spence gave an amazing performance, I thought.
Well, his performance came to an abrupt end, as you would say. That's
yeah.
Not so like I was. So I was reading on one of the Wikipedias about your characters. Did you play a ring wraith? Someone was crediting you a ring wraith, and like I was like, I don't know.
I did a signing recently, and they asked me to sign things with the ring wraith, and I was thinking, okay, and it was pretty much a generic thing. All the evil guys were put in one box, and that's as far as they went, really. But no, I never did that. Not tall enough.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What do you have a favorite like behind the scenes moment or several? Like you basically lived there for years, right? In that world, do you have a favorite like or a couple of favorite moments while being there?
Oh, interesting. My big memorable day was for me anyway, was on in the Mordor scenes, and we were filming out of a famous. We were based in a famous hotel up there that's open in the winter for the ski season, and we were all staying in the hotel, and then going up the mountain to film the scenes. And we wrapped our scenes, went through makeup, went back to the hotel, had a bath, went downstairs to go and have dinner, and here was Richard Taylor coming in from the mountain, having spent all that time in between packing up all the props into containers and all that kind of thing. He was out literally hours after everybody else left, and he was rushing upstairs to grab a bag and drive back to Wellington, which is about 5.5 hours drive.
Oh my God.
And he said that he and Tanya had not seen daylight in months.
Oh my God.
Not seen their house in daylight in months.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So dedication too.
Yeah. So I never thought about this until you mentioned, because you're local, you're in the industry locally. Are you really friends around, like it being such a community? Have you ever established relationships with people going into it? Like a lot of it, like was it you hanging out with a bunch of friends on set? Is that a fair statement? Yeah.
It's a reasonably small community, but at that stage quite vibrant. There were about 4 professional theatres in Wellington at the time, so the community was robust. And we had a lot of film work going on at this time as well. So there was definitely crossover. Great working with friends. One example, Jed Brophy has done a lot of prosthetic work and character roles, all that kind of thing. He studied drama with me at Otago University, so we were in the same class back then, and he's pretty much meteoric rise since that point in this world.
Yeah. Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Now, you've also stepped into the TV show too. Was that fun? Was that cool? Going from the movies and then kind of transitioning to the TV show, The Rings of Power? Like, I think that's pretty cool, right?
I was very pleased to be involved in the world again because I was brought up on Tolkien.
Yeah.
The Hobbit was my first chapter book.
Oh,
and I think I bought Lord of the Rings when I was 10 or 12 or something like that.
Yeah, same.
So I love that world anyway, and I was very pleased to get back into it. Quite a few differences from the other, in the sense that there was a lot more. Well, I don't know how much research the writers went into, but there was a lot of thinking over that period in between. And we had philosophical differences. Joseph Maul, who originally played Adar in season 1, had insisted on a culture for the orcs where they were just a people who were looking for a homeland, a whole other political aspect for them rather than just evil dudes who killed everybody, And that's a fundamental shift for me. And also basic differences too in terms of the medium that was used. In the trilogy, we were using latex for the prosthetics. And in the TV series, we're using silicone, which gives a lot more kind of realistic shine for the camera, I suppose. Yeah, so I hear they're going back to latex for the next one. So
does it feel worse? Does one feel better than the other? Is one more comfortable, or does it indifferent in that regard?
I think there's more movement in the silicone because it just maps to the skin better in some ways. But I guess they're looking for consistency with the original because it's at the same timeline, of course.
Sure.
So
I guess that the shadows and things coming off of it is that kind of the thought, is like the reflections and things coming out. Is that, or the colors, you can't color match the two? Is that kind of the thing?
They can paint anything. My first day on set was with the head of prosthetics department, Gino, and basically he was painting me most of the day while I had the voices of Ian McKellen and Christopher Lee in the background, servants of the enemy here in Isengard. And I'm just in a deck chair in the sun getting painted.
That's incredible. That's so much fun.
Yeah.
So you mentioning you being a big fan. When you heard they were filming in New Zealand, were you have to be in it? Like, was that regardless of role? Like, were you just like, hey, I grew up reading this stuff. I know I got to be in this thing.
Please. And so much of it was categorized by physicality. So, people of a certain height were drafted one way for hobbits, or, tall, slender, often blonde-haired people were elves in that direction. And, it's a little bit eugenics. So I'm just...
I can die this way.
I'm old.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Did you ever want to play a character that's not an orc then? Could you have been like, all right, guys, I can at least be a dwarf. Let me be a dwarf. Give me something.
Yeah, I had postulated that theory to other people in the past. I got as far as doing a screen test for PJ on The Hobbit. Before kind of they got into filming, they were doing some storyboarding for Hollywood. And we did a scene where I think in my mind, I was Bomber. And we were kind of trying to run into Beorn's house and hold the door against the bear,
Yeah.
So, but that didn't happen. And I've spoken to friends of mine who did do it, and they said it was very hard work. Lots of weight in the costuming and the prosthetics, and lots of running. So... yeah. I mean, I would have loved doing it, of course, but I don't know how good I'd have been. I was hanging on to the thought of being Bomber and dragged everywhere asleep by the end of it.
And I think I heard you right. You're doing conventions and different signings and stuff. Like, how's the fan interaction been fun? Have you enjoyed that aspect of this whole thing?
I have had very little involvement with that world, actually.
Okay.
My first involvement was maybe 10, 12 years ago. And at that stage, they'd been doing signings for, over a decade, of course. And it was like they'd gone, now, who haven't we got? And scraping through the barrel. But I'm pleased I went. It was, by that stage, it was a situation where they had to have buffers between more famous people, shall we say. So we'd have...
Oh, jeez, don't diminish yourself like that.
No, I'm serious. We had like very famous people on either side and me in the middle, just so there was a buffer between the long queues.
Oh, Phil.
At one convention, I was sitting between Christian Nan, who plays Hodor, and George Romero's, who, Night of the Living Dead.
Jeez, dude, that's rough. That's rough. I'm here at work. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And then we'd have like my small queue of diehard fans who had like 10, 12 years worth of signatures on this one object and they wanted another, that kind of thing.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Great experience.
For sure.
And now more recently, they've taken to, instead of sending people over to conventions, they bring people here with product and you just go somewhere and sign lots of product locally.
Can you go into more of that? That's interesting. So do you just have a manager that collects all the stuff that like you want to get signed? Or
a company that does it.
Oh.
So in this case, a UK company who gathered up stuff from fans and bought it but also some new product, like bought new product that hadn't been signed. And these guys schlepped it all over to New Zealand and they did a whistle stop tour. They did a lot of driving and half hour signing, got through the product. So it's a different world now. Even more so 100%. Now, I think, given the fuel crisis.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be very different.
I mean, I see that they've had to postpone Comic-Con London for a year, I think.
Oh, due to all the cost of... Oh, wow. Okay.
Because they have lots of international guests.
Sure. If you can't travel, you can't travel. That makes sense. Man, that stinks. Is Comic-Con big in your area? Do you get a lot of cons in your just general vicinity?
The guy who was facilitating to get me across to the UK for those couple of signings I did, he runs an outfit called Armageddon in New Zealand. And they have, I think, at least 3, if not 4, iterations of that throughout the country each year. And they get quite a few international guests, of course. But
sure,
I just don't know how they'll go now.
Yeah, it's going to be harder.
Yeah.
For sure. Do you have a favorite fan interaction at a con then? Do you have a favorite memory? One you want to share, I guess?
Well... you can imagine me as a little fangirly on the bus with all these famous people going from the hotel to the thing.
Sure.
I'm sitting next to Casper Van Dien from Starship Troopers.
Shit. Yeah, I lose my mind too.
This is so surreal. Trying not to kind of impinge on that world because they, of course, know each other quite well, a lot of the others.
Sure.
And he's sitting next to this dude that nobody's ever seen and they don't know who he is because he's normally wearing prosthetics, right?
Oh. That's
imposter syndrome.
Oh, no. But it would be a lot of fun, though. One day you hire a guy to put some prosthetics and you just show up as an orc.
Yeah.
Those cons.
That guy. I was on the bus with that guy.
That'd be super dope. Are there any stories about that Lord of the Rings experience you had that you've not gotten to tell folks? Like, is there anything, like a memory that you wish, man, I wish someone would ask me this question, but just no one ever does? Do you have any fond memories you wish to share that just hasn't had the opportunity to be shared?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
That's okay.
But I don't know, just little things like, the first day on set after the painting job, first day in front of the camera was the scene that I did just before PJ's cameo, and we were in the town of Bree, and they'd made the place super wet with rain machines, and the whole place was like a sea of mud.
Yeah.
And they had us in this footwear that just sucked off into the mud as soon as you stepped into it. And it was like, okay, so now what do we do?
That's awesome.
A lot of thinking on the fly, I think, at the time.
Oh, I believe that very much.
Yeah, mostly just friends, dealing with things like having prosthetic teeth and how to eat meals, that kind of thing. Famously, a lot of Marvel stars or, superhero stars talk about costume and how they don't exactly make costumes and designed for bathroom breaks, that kind of thing. So practicalities, I suppose. Yeah.
Sorry.
Not a fan of rain machines, let's put it that way.
Very fair. So you said something there that I had never once in my whole life, I think I can honestly say, thought about. Prosthetic teeth? You can't just pop them in and out? Like you can't just like...
Jed's first character couldn't have solid meals. He had to sip everything through a straw because they, it was just not logistically great to be able to be dealing with the teeth in that way. So then I think they became a little more, you can have the teeth out, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But yeah. And it's interesting, some of the characters that you're alongside in the lunchroom are deeply method. So you've got, Brad Dourif, for example, who's American and just did not want to break character at all as Wormtongue, and he'd just be like Wormtongue in the lunchroom. And it's like, oh my God, this guy. Both creepy and awesome,
Yeah. I love that. Do they have their own little corner of people staying in character? I like to picture them all in their own little table, like pretending they're still in character.
No. At a table with Wormtongue, What a square meal.
That's awesome. Well, if you don't mind, let's leave Middle Earth for a second, because you've been in a bunch of other stuff that I'd love to hear about. Spartacus, I love that show. If you can tell me anything about your experience, I binge watched that whole thing. I feel so bad about the whole cancer thing, but I love that show.
Very talented guy. I had very little to do with him. My episode, he was on the injured list in terms of, the character was on the injured list, going through all sorts of mental things, dreams, bad dreams, all that kind of stuff. Whereas I was on set with John Hannah in the arena watching the person who should have been him fighting instead. So, yeah, but what an amazing day. Sitting there watching, green screen, of course, but, having this long rocker wig, down to my kind of waist almost, that had been like curled up into this pretty looking. It's very funny.
Oh man, I bet. So it was just a day. It was a day shoot for you. Do you have any fond memories of that day, or just that experience?
Well, I mean, the sort of chat you'd have with somebody who you'd previously seen on screen, and then you realize is an actual person, and you understand why a lot of actors are great conversationalists, because they're very empathetic, I suppose, and they look for connection. So the conversations can be amazing.
Oh, awesome. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Bridge to Terabithia. Now, I have not seen it, but I've heard so much about it that I feel like I've seen it. Can you tell me at all about being Mr. Bailey in Bridge to Terabithia?
There was a very small role. It was pretty much the school janitor who discovered them where they shouldn't be, that kind of thing. That was another day shoot.
Sure.
But awesome to be spending time in the company of these kids who go on to do amazing things, of course. Anna Sophia Robb, Josh Hutcherson. These were just kids doing Terabithia, and
right.
You watch their careers and think, You know, I mean, I spent
Yeah.
a few days on set with Ryan Gosling doing Young Hercules when he was 19. You know, and
Yeah.
what a guy at 19. Obviously, well parented.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Do you ever send him letters like, "Hey, remember me? We were in Young Hercules together. How are
I
things?"
got to show him the photo, but I'm sure he had a lot of interesting characters that he was working with on that.
Yeah, I bet.
I think I played a character called Fatuous.
No way. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, do you? What was it like being on Hercules? It's like as a kid, I loved that show. It was just enough, over the top that you could just really sink your teeth into, and just watch the fights and things like that, and creatures of myth. What was your time like on Hercules and Young Hercules?
Yeah, I mean, Young Hercules, I think, was a bigger outlay for me. Hercules, I think, was not a big shoot, but characters at that stage. Two characters. One was Oceanus, and one was Helios, and I was the Helios, so I was red, and the other guy was blue.
Were you a god? Was Helios like the god Helios? Oh, Titan. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's dope.
Yeah. But always a lot of fun,
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mentioned those whole sets were a lot of fun. What was Pete's Dragon? I have seen it, but it was a while ago. But I remember really liking it. Did you?
Yeah.
Do you have any fond memories of being in Pete's Dragon?
Great bunch of people. Excellent bunch of people. David Lowery was just starting out as a director at that point. I think he'd done one well-received indie kind of movie, and he's gone on to do quite a few good things since. Married, of course, to Augustine Frizzell, who's done Euphoria and stuff like that. So she's a powerhouse in her own right. She was on set some of the time as well. I think she might have been involved with the writing. But yeah, just the tight-knit group of people. A few Kiwis and Marcus Henderson, who's gone on to do a few things in America. I think he was in Get Out. He was recently on Lincoln Lawyer, so he's doing well, I think. Just a great bunch of people. The fact that it was shooting 20 minutes from my hometown for a lot of it was very surreal. So I could live at home with my mom and get picked up by production and taken 20 minutes down the road to set. It was just a bit weird.
Yeah,
never think that growing up in your little hometown in New Zealand.
Yeah, that's incredible. Now, I should have asked. Yeah, that's incredible.
I love the comment from one of the locals when the production was over and they'd had the wrap party, and they said, "That's great, but can we have our internet back now, please?"
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Because they had used this huge pipe of internet to send everything to the States, and everybody local was getting minimal,
That's incredible. Now, King Kong, I would love to hear, did the Peter Jackson, like, you know what I mean? Like, would you just like, hey, Lord of the Rings, now we're going to do King Kong? Is that how that happened? Like,
he'd always had an affinity with the movie, and I think we did too. I remember as kids sneaking out of bed to go and watch the Friday night, late night movie.
Yeah.
And, being nabbed in the process and having to sneak out again and all that kind of stuff. And he was talking I think at a similar age, watching that movie at a similar age and just falling in love with it. It's a beautiful movie, the Fay Ray version.
Yeah.
And it had always wanted to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, sorry. What was your experience like on King Kong? I think he's Laughing Man, so was it probably a lot, but it'd be fun.
Yeah, flashover scene before she goes to the island and she's performing in vaudeville, and I'm in the audience eating peanuts and making a mess, kind of. And then they said, well, maybe we should try it with dialogue. And I panicked and thought, I don't even know who this guy is. Is he American? Is he German? Is he, where's he from? What? So he said, just try something. And I went, show us your tits. And he went, no.
We're going to go back to just laughing, huh?
Yeah, because he seemed like that kind of guy. He seemed like a real pig of a guy. So, but yeah, they decided not to go that way.
I love the idea of like you can say whatever you want. Well, you gave me the option. I'm going to take it. That's awesome.
So I think they decided against that idea. But yeah, we had a scene where I was sitting in the audience. I don't know if you remember much about the movie, but there's a scene where there's a scene where she gets back from the island and she's back in the old game and she's on stage as part of a big show with big ostrich feather fans and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a guy comes on and he's doing tap to Bye Bye Blackbird. And it was just mesmerizing to be able to sit and watch that take after take. And she just stops in the middle of the action and just walks off stage because, you know, she's thinking, how can real life be any, you know, different, you know, better than what I've just been through, you know?
Yeah.
And so we got to hear that maybe 3 or 4 times. And then when it came to the edit, it was like montage shots. And it was like, oh, no.
Oh, you're missing something.
Yeah, you're really missing that. It was just a beautiful choice. That song, that tapping, that, you know, but they just intercut it.
That's a bummer. That's a bummer.
But it's one way in which, you know, actors get to experience something that the audience never do, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Does that well, my thought is, does that happen a lot? Do you have a lot of memories where like, man, they should have kept that in? Like, not a specific movie, but there's like, when you're watching back your performance and the movie, like, boy, I wish it would have kept a little bit more of that scene. Now, the extended editions aside, right? Because we talked about that, but like, do you ever have moments like that? Like, man, 2 or 3 more minutes here would have really served that movie.
Yeah, my career. Yeah. I think there were, because David Lowery on Pete's Dragon encouraged us a lot to just do wild lines, you know, ad libs, that kind of thing. And I think I wish there would have been more in that that was kept for the film. But I think it was a way of, you know, making the characters feel alive without necessarily worrying about script or anything like that, you know. So it was a good trick. But yeah, I think there are some genius moments that were left cut on the floor. You know, as you have to do when you're an editor, I guess.
True. Are they, now thinking forward, are they pulling into the next couple of seasons of Ring of Power? Are we going to see Phil?
No, we're done with that. They did 1 season. Okay. And then they committed to using UK studios because they had as much money and tied up in those studios as they did here. So they scrapped whole sets, you know, the Numenor set, a lot of the sets that we were on just got put in the bin or transported, and that was it. Largely a COVID thing, I think, because we were quite strict on COVID at that stage. So their first year of shoot got held up terribly on it.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't know. That stinks.
That's all right. I don't mind. I've been involved. That's what I'm happy about.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. You've been. Yeah. So speaking of the next one, do you have some stuff coming up you want to talk about? Do you have anything?
I don't want to talk about it in case I.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think they were looking for opportunities to marry up some of the stuff that was done in the trilogy. So we'll see how we go. But, you know, the sketches I've seen of my character are very cool. So
Phil, you can't say that and then just not tell me more. So
I can.
When this thing gets announced, can you please come back on and we'll talk about it?
Okay.
Is that like I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I just want to hear about it.
Yeah, of course. That might have to be after the fact.
That's okay. You tell me when.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
You know, I go on Reddit quite a bit on the different fan groups, that kind of thing. And there's an awful lot of negativity out there about, there's a lot of people who are purist at heart and think that whatever project is going to sell the world of Middle Earth down the river, just as a money grab or something like that. But I don't know. I keep saying all of it's a money grab. They didn't make the movies for no reason, They wanted to make money. New Line wouldn't have greenlit it otherwise. And people love the trilogy. There were definitely naysayers at the time for the trilogy. Certainly after The Hobbit. But
for sure.
But to mark things down before it's even been one reel of film shot, it seems to me a bit premature. I mean, they're basing it on other things, like the reception for Animal Farm or something like that, or how can you compare? All the old team are back, most of the old team in terms of production. So I expect it to be a great experience.
Dope. I'm very happy to hear that. I had something for you, but then I lost it mid thing. But what else you got coming down the pipe? Anything you want to talk about? What else in your world? I mean, we didn't cover.
No. I think that pretty much covers it. Things again, because I just turned 60, so I'm reaching the end of my useful action life, I suppose, in terms of set. If you've seen any
Phil,
of
we can go to 80. My money's on 80, Phil. We got
it. Well, Ian McKellen's coming out at 86. So, to do Gandalf. So,
you can't let Ian McKellen show you up, Phil. Sorry.
What?
No, I said we can't let Ian McKellen show you up.
Oh, no. I mean,
still the 90.
He's got 26 years on me.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But in terms of an action figure, I don't know how many of his own stunts he'd be doing on this, but I don't know what Gandalf's involvement is in this movie.
We'll find out.
And I don't think he'll be involved in the Colbert one either, because that's a period where he's not on screen, right? Or not in the books, at least.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So, I mean, if you'd seen Rings of Power, you'd have seen my character was pretty much the guy who barks orders and, that kind of thing, rather than any kind of action scenes. I didn't do a lot of the fighting. I was known on set for falling over quite a bit.
Not on camera? You just tipped over?
Not on camera. Tripping over hidden pieces or, because the thing about those sets is they've got a myriad of people with lots of different jobs to do.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily all create a perfect environment for an actor. So you've got one guy who's making the set look shiny by spraying water everywhere. And you've got people who are using fog machines and all that kind of stuff. So it's designed to be atmospheric for the look on the camera, but it's not exactly conducive to finding a path as an actor. Awesome. So you've got to think, every time they add a little bit in, so you've got to go, oh, that plus that plus that plus that, there's a lot of kind of thinking on the hoof.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense.
And we had an amazing costume designer on the first season of Rings of Power, who has gone on to win a BAFTA for Frankenstein. But her costuming is practical. So everything is as it might be in that world. So it ties up and, the cloaks are heavy. They're supposed to be, I think, fire drake skin or dragon skin to prevent, light getting on the orcs. And all of that is very heavy, along with the costuming and the armor. And it could have been done in a film set way. So it was easy to get on and off. But no, it was practical. So that has its own kind of limitations.
That is probably hard to balance to your falling over part of it. If you're wearing that stuff, I would tip over too. If it's practical, it might sway you one way or the other. Is that a fair statement?
And so in terms of once you're getting older and not that fit, it's sort of you're kind of reaching the end of your useful life.
Oh, Phil.
I mean,
we're going to 90, damn it.
In that world. I don't think they have orcs in retirement homes.
I think you're right. You probably become soup. It's fine.
Yep.
It's okay.
Yeah, I've done enough.
Well, sir, I know it's not morning, but like you mentioned, just getting out of bed before. But I don't want to keep you too long. Where can folks find you online? Where can
Good question. I'm not
Sure.
really. I don't really have a sort of promotional aspect to my career. I
Okay.
just tend to go into spaces that already exist for other reasons. I don't. My agent is furious at me that I don't even have a show reel, for example. But technology is not my great friend. So, and I could probably work harder on that, but I haven't. You can find me pretty easily, I would guess, on IMDb or through sources like that. Yeah, or if you're in the chat groups.
Sure. Are you pretty active on the boards, huh?
I tend to read a lot of Lord of the Rings stuff, Rings of Power, that kind of thing, and try and give kind of perspective from production side rather than the purists.
That's fair.
So I feel like I know enough of the world to be able to comment, and also have the aspect of having worked in the industry as well. So yeah, that's my contribution, really.
It's a dope contribution for sure. Are you a big reader? This is a tangent. I just thought about it. Are you a big reader? Mentioning you read Lord of the Rings as a kid.
I think I read less now than I used to.
Okay.
I think that's probably internet. I'm a big quizzer, so a lot of the stuff that I read is trying to expand my knowledge about what's happening in the world at the time. And there's a lot happening, of course.
There is.
So spending that time reading tends to be, less of a priority, I suppose. I've just recently gone back to a sci-fi series I read when I was first at university in the early 80s, and just trying to get a perspective on how that still reads. I don't know if you know Julian May, but yeah, she deals a lot with in terms of human potential psychically, or using the higher mind powers, I suppose.
Okay.
That kind of thing. So that's a whole different genre. I mean, I still reread parts of the Lord of the Rings every now and then. Some of my favorite pieces of prose ever written, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. That's kind of where my mind was. Like, are you reading any fantasy lately? Because like, there's a lot of new stuff out there. That's not. I mean, Lord of the Rings is way up here, but like, there is other stuff. So I wasn't sure if you've delved your feet into any of that and other fantasy novels out there.
I haven't gone to any of the. I mean, I think I branched into David Eddings. I read the Aragon series, that kind of stuff. But this is all back in the day. Some of the stuff that's coming out, I'm sure, is brilliant, and a lot of that owes its origins, I guess, in some way to Tolkien, because of the care.
100%. Yeah, Tolkien, and then Dune.
Creating a fantasy world.
Yeah, for sure. Well, sir, it was wonderful having you. I love talking with you.
Yeah,
I think we did it. So have a wonderful day.
It's great to meet
everybody.
you.
It was wonderful to meet you.